Meghan Markle crashed Valentino Garavani's funeral in Rome uninvited, with entourage and big camera crew to film for her image rehab. Security booted her fast.
Meghan Markle is in California with her wanting to be in the UK husband, trying to get back to the UK. But what is so alarming to me is how Meghan continues to want to create these ripples in these other areas and parts of the world as she did a few days ago.
You're done. This is why the funeral story is so damaging to her. Because here's why this Valentino funeral situation is not just embarrassing for her. It's a career-defining moment, in my opinion.
Meghan Markle just took one of the most brutal public rejections of her life, and the leaked details have her absolutely livid. While Prince Harry was unraveling inside a London courtroom, getting emotional over his wife and being corrected by a judge not once, not twice, but 3 separate times, Meghan was busy making frantic moves behind the scenes.
Prince Harry nearly broke down in tears in court today, weeping about Meghan Markle's misery. And he was told to stop arguing back by the judge. Well, Prince Harry was giving evidence in his privacy claim against the publisher of the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday in the High Court today.
Sources say she was blowing up fashion insiders non-stop, trying to lock down an invite to Valentino's funeral in Rome, and the answer came back loud and clear. No chance. Now Hollywood insiders have laid the whole awkward operation bare, and it's beyond embarrassing. This wasn't just about a funeral. This was about Meghan's entire post-royal game plan cracking in real time. On January 19, 2026, legendary fashion designer Valentino Garavani passed away in Rome at the age of 93, and the fashion world stopped.
Legend in the fashion world has died. We're just getting word fashion designer Valentino Garavani passed away today after a life of creating beauty, the age of 93.
But within hours of the announcement, insiders say Meghan went straight into hustle mode. According to Hollywood insider Rob Shooter, Meghan immediately began quietly reaching out to people deep inside Valentino's inner circle, hoping to score a seat among the fashion elite. Let that sink in. A global fashion icon had just died, and instead of staying quiet or sending private condolences, Meghan's first move was reportedly to work the phones, trying to get herself on the list. The funeral was scheduled for Friday, January 23 at the Basilica of Santa Maria Angeli in Rome, and the guest list was locked tight. This was high fashion royalty only. Tom Ford, Donatella Versace, Anna Wintour, Anne Hathaway, Elizabeth Hurley, even Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni was there. Over 10,000 people lined up for the public viewing. But Meghan wasn't aiming for the public line. She wanted inside access. Sources say she was very intentional about making sure her name didn't get overlooked. But here's where it fell apart. Meghan has never attended a Valentino runway show. She was never part of his inner circle.
Meghan Markle has always wanted to be an A-lister. Not adjacent, not inspired by. She wants to be on the inside. But she genuinely believed that marrying into royalty meant that she could simply just inherit elite status and that everybody would just swing the door open for her.
She's worn Valentino designs before, but so have millions of women around the world, and that alone doesn't earn a seat in Rome. This wasn't about paying respects. This was about access. This was about cameras, connections, and being photographed next to Anna Wintour and Donatella Versace. This was straight-up networking at a moment when the fashion world was watching. And insiders say Meghan thought it would work because she's pulled similar moves before. Back in October 2025, she showed up at Paris Fashion Week after inviting herself to the Balenciaga show. Creative director Pia Paolo Paci later confirmed that she reached out directly and said she wanted to attend. No grand plan, no official invite, just a direct ask that somehow slid through. Translation, she pushed her way in and it worked that time.
Meghan Markle, she went to Paris to attend the Balenciaga fashion show. She took her entire team. She took Daniel, the hair and makeup artist. She took Marcus Anderson.
So Meghan reportedly assumed she could repeat the same play at Valentino's funeral, especially since Pittioli served as Valentino's creative director from 2008 until 2024. Sources say she believed that connection might open doors she didn't actually have access to anymore. But this time, the fashion elite shut it down.
Everyone's talking about how Meghan Markle didn't get an invite to the private funeral in Rome. That, my friends, is the wrong story. The real story is that her private outreach became public. And that only happens when the room wants you exposed and not included, which is bad news for Meghan Markle.
According to Radar Online, Despite her persistent efforts, Meghan Markle failed to secure an invitation and was quietly but firmly turned away. No seat, no appearance, no moment. The funeral went ahead on January 23 exactly as planned. Anne Hathaway delivered a heartfelt tribute. Tom Ford, Donatella Versace, Anna Wintour, and Elizabeth Hurley were all present. And Meghan Markle nowhere to be seen. Now the leak has exposed her behind-the-scenes phone campaign to the entire world, turning what was supposed to be a power move into a headline-making embarrassment that Hollywood won't stop whispering about.
Because funerals are sacred territory in elite circles, not just elite circles, in everybody's circle. Especially if you have, a close-knit family and you're like, oh yeah, that blah, blah, blah. Everybody's very close-knit. But the moment that you see somebody that's not supposed to be there, everybody's like, why are they here? You know what I mean? Everything is handled silently when it comes to funerals, when it comes to elite circles, privately and respectfully, because that's the way people function. If Meghan Markle truly was part of this inner circle, think about it. She wants to be part of it. She thinks she is. She's a wannabe. This is one of two things that would have happened.
While Meghan was hustling on the phones trying to crash a funeral, her husband Harry was in London from January 21st to 22nd testifying in his lawsuit against the Daily Mail, and it did not go well. Harry appeared in the High Court to give evidence in his privacy case against associated newspapers. He's suing over 14 articles published between 2001 and 2013 before he even met Meghan, claiming illegal phone hacking and invasion of privacy. But instead of sticking to the facts, Harry got into arguments with defense lawyer Anthony White. Justice Matthew Nicklin had to step in multiple times. The judge reminded him, "You're doing what lots of litigants do. You tend to argue back. You don't have to bear the burden of arguing the case today. In other words, stop debating and just answer the questions." But Harry couldn't hold back. He kept going off on tangents. Then things got even more dramatic. In a case that had nothing to do with Meghan, these articles were from years before they met. Harry broke down in court. His voice cracked as he teared up, saying the press continues to target him and that they've made his wife's life an absolute misery.
Prince Harry broke down in big boy tears as he gave some testimony today in his lawsuit against the Daily Mail, claiming that they have made his wife's life an absolute misery. Well, Harry, I'm sorry, why does that have any bearing on this case at all? You're talking about articles that were written between 2001 and 2013, 3 years before you allegedly met your wife. So what does Meghan have anything to do with this trial?
Why bring Meghan into a case about pre-existing articles? Because sources say she dominates even Harry's courtroom battles. He couldn't stop censoring her story. Harry also insisted his friends never leaked information to the press. He claimed his social circle was airtight. He called journalists like Katie Nicholl and Rebecca English illegitimate, even though photos show Harry hugging Rebecca English at polo matches. Katie Nicholl had real insider access to royals for years, which makes the argument shaky. Now, let's talk about the hypocrisy. Harry wrote a 400-page book, Spare, revealing that Prince William is circumcised, shared private details about losing his virginity, family texts, drug use at Courtney Cox's house, and fights with his brother. He monetized his own life for millions, did the Oprah interview, and produced a 6-hour Netflix documentary. And yet now he claims the media commercialized his life. The judge wasn't impressed. The defense wasn't buying it, and the public certainly wasn't. Meanwhile, Meghan didn't fly to London to support Harry. She was 5,000 miles away in California making calls about a funeral. That says a lot about their priorities. If you've been following this saga, none of this comes as a surprise. Royal biographer Tom Bower predicted exactly this outcome. Bower wrote, "Revenge, Meghan, Harry, and the war between the Windsors."